At last. My goodness. It's been a heck of a journey to get here, but I'm so glad that I'm here. Um, and I'm sorry for the last minute change up. It just seems that since I got tapped by the Grinch on Facebook, I've been having difficulty. So that might last for a few more weeks, I guess. But I wanted to talk about the messages from the flow of the river this week. And it is going to be a bit of a wild ride. I'm not going to lie to you. The energetics that are coming are one that literally is going to be, it's going to be very revealing, but it's going to be unsettling. So really the theme is going to be vulnerability. And let's face it, I call it the V word. Nobody likes it. But there is a strength in vulnerability. It requires courage to have it because with that, you can't be putting on airs. There is an authenticity of being just who you are. And with that, that requires to really be comfortable in your own skin. And, that's kind of like a work in progress that all of us are doing. But the idea is with those who've been following me on the flow of the river, this past moon month has really brought a lot to the surface and a lot of emotions to go with it. But in the end, I believe that in essence, we're all really wanting the same thing: peace. We would like harmony. But in order for any relationship to be built, and it begins with the relationship of self, and then, as we treat ourselves, so we see the world and treat others, there is the need to strip down and to take away, the masks. It's important to finally be released of old tapes and images of ourselves and of the world. And that's not easy. Like I said, this week will definitely visit upon you all those things that will really make you feel, you know, very exposed. So I had to laugh in a bit way this technology today was, and it's been a full day of it, has been doing it. But the ability to say, you know what, I'm just going to learn how to do things in a different way and ask those people who know, how to work this. So there is the strength of vulnerability. Let me describe it to you. It is, aside from feeling comfortable in your own skin, you don't need to make excuses. You know, obviously you walk mindfully and respectfully with yourself and with all living beings, but you're just who you truly are, and you can focus. There's no wasting of energy and putting up a facade. There is no loss of time and supporting those things that aren't real or nourishing in this way. So I wanted to mention a question that Kathy Turing had given to me briefly, which was, Skyfire, what do you do with those parts of yourself? Because you see, this is a week of exposure. So what do you do with those parts of yourself that you are like your shadow side, the side that you don't like? And this is what I would say. Those shadow sides exist for a reason. They exist for, maybe they don't do it well for the purpose. It could be of protection. It could be, a leftover fear response or what have you. So the parts of yourself that you don't quote unquote like so much, embrace as equally as the parts that you do like. I know that sounds difficult, but if you don't, what happens is you begin literally feeling like you're living a divided life. On one hand, trying to uphold this perfection, and then running away or trying to hide what you consider to be a blemish. And again, from a Red Road standard, again, the native spirituality, what happens is, again, what you consider to be a shortcoming really is an opportunity for growth. It's a door to allow for healing and expansion. And it could be a shortcoming like me. I will never be a geek. I respect geeks. I just don't have really a tech bug in my body, although I seem to bug tech a lot, which is why I have problems with it. And that's a shortcoming. So I can either try and hide it or I can embrace it. Sometimes trying to do too much at once. And I think that comes from, having been a mother of three, my kids are grown now, and still the tendency of trying to juggle too many balls in the air. So I can either try to deny that. Again, there's that response of either rushing where angel fears to tread, oh no, I can do that, and then doubling my efforts. And instead of bonking myself in the head with 3 balls that I'm juggling, I can bonk myself in the head with 6 and knock myself out. Or the other response is to run away and, allow myself to feel overwhelmed. No. When you have that part of you says, there's this part of me that really makes me feel vulnerable, that to me is a shortcoming. Let me be honest about it. Let me share with those whom I feel safe with, that this is what's going on with me. And you might find that what you consider a shortcoming, other people don't. Or if they feel that it is, that they would be delighted to be able to help you. Because I'm sure at some point, again, good karma, what goes around comes around in a good way too, comes back to you. So remember, if there's a part of you that you feel is your shadow side or the side that you don't like, and everything is going to be exposed in this week, not just in private life. So watch when you go into the news, everything is just going to be coming right out. Then my recommendation is do not do that fight or flight response. Take a moment and breathe and say, I don't have to protect a wounded ego. If anything, it's time to heal that wound and just acknowledge who I am. So when it comes to it, that kind of brings me up to my next topic of, who, is it enough? Are you enough? And, when you look around us like this, and oh, by the way, for those of you with me, welcome. And I definitely have the live chat on. So if you have a question or thought, please feel free. I will definitely be reading and answering those if you want to share those with me. So the idea is when you see around you, yes, there is tons of everything going on. And, don't even bother sometimes even just turning on the news. Okay, it's good to keep tabs on what's going on. It's not a bad thing. But you don't have to solve everything or solve everything at once. You are enough. And realize that a great spirit made each one of us interested in different things. So the reason why I mention that to you is because since we all have varied interests, and that includes being able to address the problems that we even have within our communities and our society, then we all have it covered. So if you are just being yourself, just being you and doing you as I say, just in this manner, it doesn't matter how good you are. Just again, that part of the vulnerability. Acknowledge if you are beginning to learn how to share a skill or a talent. It could be something basic as helping others to laugh and smile. It could be, I'm a foodie, you can tell, cooking. It could be using your know-how and some sort of skill that you have, whether it be technology or textiles. But enjoy when you engage in an activity that is a natural self-expression and have the openness of a child, not the child that's been told to be ashamed or be perfect. I'm talking about the child that enjoys, doing finger painting or the hand turkey like they do for the Thanksgiving thing and being proud and slapping it on the refridge, that sort of thing. No judgment, just enjoyment, just the desire to learn more. So when you engage this talent of yours and in turn share it with others, be prepared. Of course, there'll be those people who will want to criticize and, they want you to fit their perfect lens. That's for them. but know the spirit in which you share your gifts and your talents. And you will find that there will be others who will be delighted that you did. And I don't know about you, whenever I create something, I am the worst critic. I will say, oh my gosh, there's this flaw, that flaw, this flaw, that flaw. And I'm here like, oh. And then when I show somebody else, you know what usually happens? They don't see it. They don't see the flaws that I do. And it's not like they're trying to patronize me. And it helps me to realize and get me back into reality where, it's the essence of what I'm trying to do. And it doesn't mean that I still don't acknowledge what I perceive to be as flaws. It inspires me to learn more. It inspires me to do better. But not with the idea of trying to hide that somebody might find a mistake within me. It's with that desire of wanting to share more. So, and this is how we grow and learn, despite COVID-19, despite all the craziness, wherever you are, you were born enough. And when you begin to share, and even to the degree of you'd like to learn more, that is wonderful. And through your doing that, it invites others, others to participate. Others that, when they come from a good heart, can give you, I'm going to say, honest feedback. And with that honest feedback, again, don't protect. Sometimes that ego can be very delicate. It can be like the turtle goes when it's sucked into that shell. That's an old tape. If you have someone who's coming from a good heart and you ask for honest feedback and they give it to you, take the spirit of which it was given, try to see things through their eyes, and you can always ask more questions. It doesn't mean that you have to agree. It's not about people pleasing per se, but the idea is to be able to connect and engage with each other. So that's a lot of times what I hear is sometimes people can get really caught up in being purists. Okay, well, that's okay too. We need them. But if you're going to insist on being a purist to the point where you're the only one who really understands what you're about, then please don't get angry when others don't get you or other people don't know how to participate with you. But the gift of vulnerability, one of the other strengths is, again, being completely human, being completely you. And so with that, you can ask questions, you can learn more. Think about what it is that you want to share with the world. And when you ask questions and you're given honest feedback, it teaches you how the other people capture information or what moves their hearts. And in that way, when next you connect with them, regardless of whatever talent you're sharing, you can do it in a way that is naturally you, but it's very much, it also expands who you are. It welcomes others in this way. So what I would say for you for the messages from the flow of the river this week, it will be a tremendous change in vibration. I'm not going to lie to you in this one. So be prepared to feel a little off. You might feel your body feeling a little off. Couple that with, at least here we are from where I'm at in the mid-North Atlantic, the weather's just going wackadoodle over here. So the body's still trying to deal with the light shift, the weather shift, and then you have this cosmic shift that's going on. So what I would say to you is gentleness with self and patience with yourself and others. If you find yourself being tired, then rest. Do those things that nourish you. If you're going to pursue activities in this week, then pursue activities that will increase the wealth that money cannot buy. And you will find that all of us will become the richer for it in that regard. And because the energies are shifting and our bodies are becoming attuned to it, very strong spirit messages. So what I would say to you is don't neglect your spiritual life. right? So I have some friends that are atheists. So I'm not talking about necessarily, religion. I'm talking about the spirit of self, the spirit of, I'm going to say, the greater world, the united heart, the global family. But the gift of ritual, you know, spirituality can be as simple as going for a walk and just being in that moment. It could be safely lighting a candle and just holding those thoughts and meditations and prayers within the flame of that candle. It could be as wonderful and as simple as, for those of you who might use beads, whether it be depending which persuasion you are, it could be rosary beads or mala beads, but using those beads to keep you focused. Being able to connect to your own spirit and to a greater energetic will help to give you peace. It helps for you to remain grounded and to retain a greater perspective, because this world is very good at trying to yank you this way and yank you that way. This is important, that's important, yank, yank, yank. And in the end, you get lost. So when you connect with your spirituality, by whichever way that you do it, it could be as simple for some I know who actually going for a swim and just being with the water and the sound of the water. This helps for you to center, to reconnect with yourself and your sacred self. Helps for you to breathe and to connect with all that is. And these things are what is important. The wealth that money cannot buy: laughter, unity, inner peace, health of body, mind, and spirit. So if this week is to offer us anything at all, as uncomfortable as it's going to be, remember what it really is doing. It's not allowing for us to backslide into old bad habits. It will forbid us from clapping on old masks of what we should be or what we should be doing that have kept us enslaved for years. And this will be going on many times over within your personal life, so pay attention, but also too on a greater scale. And if you find within this week, because there's going to be a lot of stumbling this week, I assure you, I stumbled tonight with just trying to get on the air, then be kind. This week of vulnerability, nobody likes feeling foolish. Nobody likes getting caught. Be gracious. What I mentioned last week of speaking and treating others in the same way that you would like to be spoken to and treated is really, really true in this particular week. Show mercy, show graciousness, show kindness, show vulnerability. And in that vulnerability, being strong and feeling more comfortable in your own skin and inviting others, again, whom you deem safe, who you deem worthwhile, to do the same. And I don't mean this in a snob way, because there are some people that, because they're not ready for that yet, can be very hurtful and harmful because they don't know other ways yet. That is the operative key. But stick to that high road. Be who you are. Allow that, that inner child to find joy in this week, in whichever way that you do it. That's part of the sharing of talents. Share your talents. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad at them, but you grow them. Connect with like-minded and like-hearted people. And just allow yourself to be completely present. So that's the gift of this week. The gift of this week is attunement to something greater. It will be the revelations of not only what needs to be corrected or fixed, because it's not really about that at all. It is a revelation of, as individuals, who we really are, and to embrace all of ourselves. As a society, what needs to be addressed, and the different strengths are also going to be highlighted. We're going to feel ourselves called to participate in different things in this week. This, again, from the Red Road Standard, we would say that this is the universe, Great Spirit calling you, that it's time now. This is the time to connect. This is the time to move forward gently. It is time to not respond as we have in times past, but to go mindfully, to speak from our hearts, to think clearly with our minds, and to go with open hand with each other. And so with this, I can't thank all of you enough for your patience, while I'm here going through this. I don't know. I guess I figured the universe is trying to teach me that I need to become more tech savvy, but I love having this time with you. Thank you so much. So until we get to speak again next week, and I think I will finally use this week to ask a couple friends of mine who are techno gods, which I am not. I will be seeing you next week. So bright blessings to you and yours, and I'll speak with you soon. Take care.